relatively unknown. Great performance on the Kovalev war card, but when you're fighting someone who has the heart and the temperament of Arias, that's hard within itself. When you're expected to perform, when you're on a new platform and people giving you the build-up, you know, that's even more pressure. But I like what I see from Danny Jacobs in this camp. The mentality, the hunger, the freshness, and also from the first press conference, where it just sort of ignited him a little bit. You know, it's quite difficult coming off a Golovkin fight to get yourself up for a young lion. But when he just ignites you and just flicks the switch in you, it makes it a lot easier in camp. And I think Danny's done that. I think he's gone away in this camp and he's taking it very, very seriously, because a slip-up is terrific. You know, I mean, it's not career-ending, but it's in terms of elite fights, it is. So there's a lot of pressure on him to win and look good winning, whereas Arias can go in and enjoy himself, have fun. I think he will. I think it's going to be a great fight. I think he's going to really come and bring the heat. I don't know how long it will last if he does, because they can both pop a little bit, you know, and Danny's very good at finding the gaps and he's very experienced as well. But I think what you're going to get is an explosive performance from Arias. It's whether he has the ability to step to that level.
You know what promoting is all about, obviously. How much do you appreciate a guy like Arias who's sold the fight
great.
well?
I have to say, I'd love to say I was a genius, but when we made the fight, I knew Arias could talk, but I didn't know he had the personality he had. And that's one of the problems with boxing in America. Personalities aren't coming out. Do you know what I mean? No one really knew Arias was like this, apart from the people who knew him. And then all of a sudden he gets on the big stage and everyone goes, wow, this guy, what a character. I actually said on a conference call recently, if Arias can win with that personality, that puts him as a major player, because he can fight and he can talk and he looks great. So it's a big fight for Arias as well, and the Rock Nation guys, you know, there's a lot on the line for a lot of people on Saturday, but that's what you want, and it's exciting, and you know, you want to feel a little bit uneasy when the fight starts. You want to feel a little bit nervous, and I think everybody will on Saturday.
Speaking of knowing how to talk and sell yourself, Jarrell Miller obviously knows how to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you've signed him.
Well, we're working together. I mean, apparently, according to Jarrell, we've signed him. But
well, he said that's.
Yeah, I know.
He said that yesterday.
Officially, look, we're working together with him on this fight and the next fight, and obviously we're working with Salita and Greg Cohen. So, you know, the plan moving forward with Jarrell Miller is a very, very, very tough fight on Saturday night, and actually, I feel like the Americans might not give Wack the credit that the Europeans would. They know about Marius Wack, points with Klitschko, you know, or deep in fights with Povetkin. So he's extremely tough. In my opinion, he's a top 15 heavyweight. This is the first real test in Jarrell Miller's career in terms of someone that's coming to win. Washington was a step up, but he didn't have the desire that Marius Wack's got. So everything, you know, you look at Jarrell Miller and you think heavyweight, can talk, looks good, explosive, from Brooklyn, you know, the perfect package. But is he elite? And we're going to find out on Saturday night, because if he can beat Marius Wack, he's a world-class heavyweight. If he can destroy Marius Wack, he may be an elite heavyweight. But, you know, with someone like Jarrell Miller, I'm praying that he is the real deal, because you know, he can be a major asset to the division. He can be an Anthony Joshua opponent as well. And I think after this fight, he's going to get a final eliminator for the world title anyway. So I think he's 2 fights away from challenging for the world heavyweight title Saturday, and then one more. But it may even come quicker. You know, if he makes a statement on Saturday, he could be Joshua's next opponent. And you know, he knows what's on the line, and he looks good. You know, he's trimmed down, he's lost weight, he's taking it seriously, and it's a big night for him. You talk about Danny Jacobs, it's a big night for Jarrell Miller's career on Saturday night, because he's a tough fight. You know, and I really think, you know, with the Jacobs-Arias fight, Danny Jacobs is the big favourite in that fight because of his pedigree. I see Miller and Wack as a 50-50 fight because of our knowledge of Marius Wack in terms of what he's done. He's been sparring Anthony Joshua, he is a world-class heavyweight, and he's motivated with his team, and they believe they're going to knock out Jarrell Miller on Saturday.
And this most recent camp he sparred with Anthony?
Not this one, the Klitschko one. Yeah, many rounds, hundreds of rounds with Joshua. So he's a big, tough, world-class heavyweight, and like I said, this is the first serious fight for Jarrell Miller.
How big, I know you want to bring Anthony here at some point, hopefully. How big would it be to bring him here to fight Jarrell Miller?
It's not the only fight, but that's the obvious fight. You know, Anthony Joshua against Jarrell Miller at the Barclays Centre in Brooklyn. You know, a Brit against a heavyweight from Brooklyn in Brooklyn for the world heavyweight title. That's a big fight. But it's only a big fight if he can walk the walk. We know he can talk the talk. But it's not just about, I said to him yesterday, the pressure for Jarrell Miller is getting a win on Saturday will progress you to a world title shot. Looking sensational will get you there a hell of a lot quicker. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And that's the pressure with heavyweights is, like, look at Deontay Wilder against Brian Stavern. Stavern, he didn't even want to be in there, but look at the way he dismantled him. That was the impressive thing. Now, if it would have gone 8 or 9 rounds and it was, you know, you actually decrease your value. But if you go out and you look destructive and good and entertaining, you increase your value. And that the increase in value doesn't always come just with the win. So the pressure is on Jarrell to win and look good winning. And if he does that, I think he's going to be a major player in the division.
I know you probably weren't surprised that Deontay won. Were you surprised at how quickly and spectacular?
Stavern's had one fight in 3 years.
Right.
He didn't want to be in there. He didn't throw a punch. Oh, he might have thrown 2 punches. He didn't land a punch. But Wilder, you know, we didn't learn anything new. We know that Wilder's reckless. We know that he's a big puncher. And if he hits you, he's going to hurt you. And that's, you know, that's the same in the Joshua fight as well. That's why it's such a great fight, because both guys have the ability to take the other man out at any time. So, you know, as do many of the heavyweights.
Did you have breakfast with Shelley?
Yeah, it was pleasant. Can't tell you too much other than it was positive, and talks are ongoing, and we're optimistic.
Do you feel like you made some progress, maybe, or no?
I think the first meeting's always important to lay down the marker, and you know, I saw Shelley's comment saying that, oh, you know, I think he just wants to turn up and show that they're. And I wanted to make a statement early in the meeting to say, no, look, guys, we want this fight. Whether it happens next or the one after, it has to happen in 2018, and that's why I'm here. Not so I can go back to the press conference or social media and say, oh, we had a meeting, we made them an offer, they don't want to. Good meeting. The negotiations will continue behind closed doors. All optimistic. I think that's the message to come out of the meeting.
Did that annoy you that Shelley said that? Because it almost made it sound like you were BSing, kind of.
Yeah, no. I mean, like, I think that the only thing that annoyed me really was the perception that Joshua's been running from this fight for ages, and the fact is we've had no contact. I reached out to them first of all. Yes, Shelley did call me back, as he would, you know. We've had no offers, we've had no approaches, and we've only, the first time this fight was discussed with Anthony was on Tuesday in my office. So how can we be running when we've never even talked about it before? Now we're talking about it, but we've still got a long way to go. But there is, you know, the best way to put it is there is a desire from both camps to get this fight made. And when there is that desire, you hope there can be some common ground, and we'll find that out over the coming weeks.
When he fights the first time in 2018, do you have a month in mind where he's going to...
Joshua?
Yeah.
February, March, April.
March,
yeah, I mean, depending on who it is. You know, if the Wilder fight doesn't happen, and I don't think the Wilder fight will happen next, to be honest, but it could do if the deal was right, then we'd like Joseph Parker. And if we can't get Joseph Parker, then we look at our WBA mandatory or a voluntary or something like that. So Joshua's in Dubai, he's there for 2 weeks, and then he's going to start camp. So February, March, something like that, it'll be good to go. If it's a bigger fight, you know, if the Wilder fight happened in April or May, maybe that would just be next for us and we'd hang on. But it's very early days at the moment. Literally, my first meeting with Anthony post-TACAM was on Tuesday. So now we go out, we look around the whole market, all the opportunities, we present them to Anthony and his team, and then we make a decision. But he wants the Wilder fight, we want the Wilder fight, and I think the fans, the 100% want the Wilder fight, and it's important that it gets made.
Do you have any idea